A new addition. The Thompson family adopts Max. The Thompson family was overjoyed. They welcomed Max, a playful golden retriever puppy, into their home. His wagging tail and infectious energy brought instant joy. The house, once quiet, echoed with playful barks and happy laughter. Max quickly became an integral part of the family. He brought a new sense of warmth and love into their lives. The children, Emily and Ethan, adored their furry sibling. They spent countless hours playing fetch in the backyard. Max, with his boundless energy, brought a renewed sense of vibrancy to the Thompson household. His presence filled a void they hadn't even realized existed. The warmth of home. Max settles in but senses something unusual. Days turned into weeks, and Max became completely comfortable in his new home. He explored every nook and cranny, making it his own. He had his favourite spot on the rug by the fireplace where he felt the coziest. He'd love to curl up there for naps. Bathed in the warm sunlight streaming through the window, it was his sanctuary. The family cherished these moments of simple joy, watching Max contentedly doze off. They felt a deep bond growing with him. He seemed to radiate a sense of peace and contentment, bringing a calming presence to the household. However, a subtle shift occurred, almost imperceptible at first. Max's carefree demeanour would sometimes falter, replaced by a look of concern. He would often stare intently at the corner of the living room, as if seeing something invisible to the human eye. His ears would perk up, his body stiffening slightly, ready to react. A low growl would rumble in his chest, a sound that was both protective and wary. At first, the family dismissed it as typical puppy behaviour, thinking he was just being playful. But as days passed, a sense of unease began to creep in. They couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Shadows and whispers. Max's odd behaviour intensifies, unsettling the family. The once serene household now felt like a place of unease and tension. Max's behaviour became increasingly erratic. His growls became more frequent, his gaze fixed on the living room corner. It was as if he could see something that no one else could. The once playful wags of his tail were replaced by anxious whimpers. His usual joy seemed to have vanished, replaced by a constant state of alertness. He would often pace back and forth in front of the empty space, a low growl constantly escaping his throat. The family could sense his distress, but felt helpless to soothe him. The family, once amused by his antics, now watched with growing concern. They had never seen Max act this way before, and it was starting to take a toll on everyone.
What's gotten into Max? This isn't like him at all. He used to be so calm and playful.
I don't know, but it's starting to worry me. He seems so scared. It's like he's trying to protect us from something we can't see.
One evening, while the family was having dinner, Max suddenly leapt up. He barked fiercely at the corner. The intensity of his reaction was startling. His bark echoed through the silent house, sending chills down their spines. It was as if he was trying to ward off an unseen intruder. The hair on his back stood on end. A low, guttural growl vibrated in his chest, so intense that it sent shivers down their spines. The atmosphere in the room grew heavy with fear. The family exchanged uneasy glances. A knot of dread began to form in the pit of their stomachs. They couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong.
Mommy, why is Max so angry? The child's innocent question hung in the air, adding to the family's growing anxiety.
I don't know, sweetie. Maybe he's just seeing things we can't. The parent tried to offer comfort, but their own voice betrayed their uncertainty and fear.
Unexplained phenomena. Objects moved mysteriously, heightening the tension. As the days passed, strange occurrences began to plague the Thompson household. What started as minor oddities soon escalated into a series of inexplicable events. Pictures on the walls tilted at odd angles as if an unseen hand had disturbed them. Doors creaked open and slammed shut seemingly on their own, echoing through the empty hallways. Whispers seemed to emanate from the shadows, too faint to decipher but impossible to ignore. They filled the rooms with an eerie presence. The atmosphere in the house grew thick with an unnerving energy, making it hard to breathe.
Did you see that? The picture just moved by itself. It's like the house is alive.
This is getting out of hand. We can't ignore it any longer. We need to figure out what's going on.
One chilly evening, as the family sat huddled in the living room, a vase toppled from the mantelpiece. It shattered into 1,000 pieces on the hardwood floor, sending shards flying. No one was near it. No draughts disturbed the air. Fear, raw and palpable, gripped the family. They exchanged worried glances, their hearts pounding. Their once happy home had transformed into a place of dread and uncertainty. The walls seemed to close in on them, filled with unseen eyes.
I'm scared. What's happening, Daddy? Why is this happening to us?
I don't know, but we're going to find out. We can't live like this. We need to get to the bottom of this mystery and reclaim our home.
Section 5. Seeking Answers. The Thompsons couldn't ignore the unsettling events any longer. They decided to seek help.
Desperate for answers, we reached out to Sarah, a renowned paranormal investigator.
Known for her calm demeanor and sharp intuition, Sarah had a reputation for unraveling the most perplexing paranormal mysteries.
I listened patiently as the Thompsons recounted their experiences. I studied their worried faces, my own expression a mask of professional curiosity.
Sarah agreed to visit their home, her curiosity piqued by Max's intense reactions.
I sensed that Max held the key to unraveling the mystery that haunted the Thompson family.
Section 6. A Glimmer of Hope. Sarah arrived at the Thompson residence with an arsenal of equipment.
Electromagnetic field readers, EVP recorders, and infrared cameras were meticulously laid out on the living room table.
Her movements were measured and precise as she scanned the room, her gaze lingering on the corner that had captivated Max's attention.
Max, usually wary of strangers, seemed drawn to Sarah. He sat at her feet, his gaze never leaving her face.
Don't worry, Max. We're going to figure this out.
Sarah's voice was soothing as she gently stroked Max's head, a glimmer of hope beginning to form in the hearts of the Thompsons. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the living room, Sarah decided to conduct a séance.
The family huddled together, their faces pale with anticipation and fear.
Sarah, her voice a calming presence in the growing darkness, began to call out.
The air grew heavy, the temperature in the room plummeted, a cold wind seemed to whip around them.
Suddenly the room was filled with a deep guttural growl.
It wasn't Max. This growl was something altogether more sinister, more menacing. The growl morphed into a gut-wrenching wail that seemed to shake the very foundation of the house. Terror gripped the Thompson family. They clung to each other, their eyes wide with fear.
Suddenly Max leapt to his feet, his fur standing on end.
He let out a deafening bark, a sound of pure defiance, and charged towards the corner of the room.
A blinding flash of light erupted from the corner, followed by an ear-splitting shriek. Max yelped and was thrown backward, landing softly on the rug.
When the family rushed to his side, they found him trembling but unharmed.
The room was silent again, the oppressive atmosphere lifted, but the sense of relief was very short-lived. The events of that night left an indelible mark on the Thompson family. They couldn't shake the feeling of unease.
The memory of the growl, the shriek, and Max's bravery was forever etched in their minds.
The house that was once a sanctuary of love and laughter now felt tainted.
After much deliberation, the Thompsons made the heartbreaking decision to move out. They couldn't bear the thought of raising their children in a house that held such dark memories.
As they packed their belongings, a profound sadness settled over them.
Their dream home had become a nightmare they couldn't escape. The Thompsons moved on, their new home far away from the haunting memories of their previous residence. But the old house remained.
A new family, oblivious to its dark history, moved in. They were a young couple full of hope and excitement for their future.
They too brought a dog, a playful Labrador retriever, and just like Max, the Labrador began to exhibit strange behavior.
He would bark at the same corner in the living room, his body stiff with fear.
The cycle continued, the unseen entity still trapped within the walls of the house. The haunting of Max was over, but the haunting of the house lived on.